So what is my goal with the age group now? I want to use the information that we have in this age group column and create a new column which should then contain our age categories. Age categories would be things like baby, teenager, child. So definitions we create, but which will be added depending on a certain value here in the age group column. What is the certain value? Well, we have age ranges right here. So I want to get access to the maximum value of each row, so 4, 54, and so on. And depending on this value, well, the age category should be defined. For example, we could say that for the age which is below 4 or equal to 4, this should be an age category of baby, just to name an example here. We have some issues though. The first issue is we have a range right here and the range is formatted as text. Therefore, we don't have any numerical values which we need to apply this less than or equal to logic. This means we first need to get access to our maximum values here. And for this, we can use different approaches now. One approach could be to split the column with our home ribbon here, the split column feature. We used this already and this would be okay. But I actually want to keep the initial column unchanged as we will need this column later, and therefore splitting the column doesn't work. We need another feature here though, and this other feature can be found here in the transform ribbon and also here in the add column ribbon. This feature is called extract. You can find it right here. Extracting means you take data from an existing column, and extract this information based on your criteria. In our case, we could extract the last 2 characters, for example, with this last characters option. Because if you look at our data, you see for the majority of the rows we have, so this row here, 54, 59, and so on, the last 2 characters will give us the maximum value. We have some issues here in row 1, row 12, and row 15 though, but we'll tackle these separately. So extract would work here. There is one important thing to understand though. We are currently in the add column ribbon here. And as we saw with the index column, if we apply a function here within this add column ribbon, it will create a new column. And this is exactly what we want, right? Because I said that I want to keep the initial age group column unchanged. Therefore, we can use this extract feature to create a new column. Let's do this now, and let me then explain why the extract feature in the transform ribbon works a bit differently. But here we can simply go to last characters right here. Now enter the count of the numbers of characters we want to keep. And these are 2 characters. And if we now press OK, we again have to wait a bit, you know the game already. And here we go. We now have the new column and we kept the initial column. Let's quickly rename this maybe to age group max, because these are the maximum values. And before we continue, let me now explain the difference between this extract feature here in the add column ribbon and this extract feature here in the transform ribbon. Because add column always adds a new column. In the transform ribbon, we work on the existing column. This means if you would apply the extract feature right here, you have the same option, less characters, this would work. But this would change the existing column. Not what we want right here, but something you might want in your project. If you would like to have the same structure we have right here with this extract feature, you would have to go to the add column ribbon here and then use this duplicate column feature. This would allow you to duplicate the age group column, so we would have it right here, and then you could go back to the transform ribbon and use this extract feature. Just a side note here, but keep in mind that features in the transform ribbon and in the add column ribbon have a different impact on the way Power BI Desktop handles your current columns. However, we have this age group max column now, which is fine, but we have some issues. As I said, we have plenty of correct values, but -4, -9, and 0+ is wrong. Let's tackle -4 and -9 first. You know how this works. We can simply go to the replace values option here in the transform ribbon. And then we can say we want to find our dash and replace it with nothing, because we don't need this information. Let's press OK and wait again a bit. This worked perfectly, and now let's tackle this 0+ right here. This should be our 100 symbol, so we select the value, because if we then go to replace values, we have it selected already here, and we replace it with 100. Again, let's apply this change and wait a bit. So now we have our corrected maximum values. 2 things to be added. The first one is we should change the format from the text right here to a whole number, because this was one of the goals of this exercise. And one final change here, which we don't have to do, but we could also sort our values ascending now to quickly see our different age groups. So let's go to the filter menu and click sort ascending. And then the majority of our changes here is done, and with that, we also don't have to wait for the loading times again and again. As I said, I know it's a bit annoying at this stage, but this cannot be avoided. It's part of working with bigger data sets, but as I said, once we leave the query editor, this will be all right. So the preparation of our table is done. Now it's time to add our age categories.